Hello and welcome to a new uniTFTDesigner video tutorial. My name is Jonas and I'm working for Electronic Assembly's development team.
Today's topic is an overview about the various commands concerning strings, starting from formatted strings to comparisons and ordering, as well as special features like reading in the serial interface. We start with the three main commands: setting standard text, formatting values, and datetime print. I already created a new project containing a text label to visualize and a button to start a macro. For the first pass, I set a string register with the command variable string register set VSS writing register 0 hello world. To visualize, I update the existing label on the screen to our recently written string register 0. For testing, I start the simulator through the icon in the menu bar. After the project is loaded to the simulator, we see the label changing to hello world by clicking the button. Back in the uniTFTDesigner, I will show the usage of formatted printing. Generally, we use the C-style standard. The command needed is variable string formatted, VSF. As an example, I want to show 49 in different formats: decimal, hexadecimal with a field width of 4 digits leading zeros, and as an ASCII character. As a line break, you can add the pipe character. In the next line, I want to print a random floating point value. To close the format string, please do not forget to add the semicolon. Now I have to add the variables 3 times 49 and my random value from -1 to 1. As my expected result is a longer string, I rearrange the objects on the screen. I start the simulator with shortcut F6, testing the output. As you can see, the random value is refreshed every time I push the button. Rounding off the formatted text, there is another command that deals with the date and the time output. The command is VSD, string date. We want to output the actual time in the first line. The hour should output minimum 1 digit without leading character, while I want to output the minutes and seconds with leading zeros. The second line is the weekday together with the date. The year is printed as 2 digits with leading 0. For a deeper dive into the date and time, we have a separate video tutorial. In the simulator, we can double check the output. We see the time and date and the refresh of the seconds. The next point I want to show is replacement. From the first sample, I use a simple command to set the string register to hello world. I want to replace world with together. There is the command string register from position, VSP. The first parameter gives the string ID, means the string I want to change. The second parameter is the offset, for example 6. The last parameter is the string I want to add. This command deletes the existing content starting from offset parameter. There is another command, VSR, which replaces only. As always, we verify the result in the simulator. A very useful command is splitting. You can split up a string register using a separator. For example, if you receive some data from the serial interface and store it in a string register. I count from 1 to 5, separating the values with semicolon. Using the split command VSE, I divide the whole string into substrings. The first parameter is the string register ID, where to start storing the substrings. The second parameter is source data, followed by the separator. Please see the question mark operator. The last parameter is the register ID, where to store the count of substrings. In the simulator, we can verify the output. I add a value view for register and string register. You can see in our source, string register 0, the complete string, including separators. In register 5, we see that successfully 5 substrings have been created. We wanted to store them in string register 1 and following. The next important command concerning strings is VSO, to read object strings. Therefore, I add an edit field and a keyboard. Again, we focus on our macro. I delete the old stuff and want to read the content of the edit box. We use command variable string object VSO with the parameter string ID as storage path and object ID as read source. To test, I start the simulator with F6. I'm typing hello to the edit box. Pressing button refresh, the macro is run and the content is filled to string register 0. During development, it's always good to have some debugging help. To find problems, for example, in calculations, there's the error string variable. To test, I first simply want to fill a register with a float value. You surely see the missing brackets. With the command VSL load last error message, I store the error into string register 0. The second parameter clears the error string if I set to 1. In the simulator, we see the output in the terminal window, as well as in the register view. Of course, the label changes. We've looked into the most important string commands. Now we want to focus on the calculation commands, like comparing and so on. First, I want to convert a numerical string to an integer value. Reading the edit box to string register 0, we now need the command variable register integer VRI command. We write to register 0 and use the calculation command string value. As parameter for the calculation, we need the string register ID 0. In the simulator, I type 1, 2, 3. Pressing the refresh button leads to a filled register 0 with the value 123. The next useful calculation is comparing. Therefore, I delete the keyboard and edit box. We need 2 string registers to compare. I fill 0 with hello world, while string register 1 is filled with hello only. Now we are ready to have a look at comparing. The calculation command is string compare. The first 2 parameters are the string register IDs we want to find differences. Optionally, we can give the length to compare. In the simulator, we can see the difference. Register 0 has the value 32, which is the space character and is the first difference, while register 1 shows a value of 0 as the length to compare is limited to 5 characters only.
I hope you enjoyed today's uniTFTDesigner tutorial. Maybe you have time and play around a little bit with our other sample projects and enjoy our video tutorials.